The Clockwerk Creature Company is a special effects house here in Bloomington, Indiana. And we started, I guess, back in about 2007, 2008. We are all about helping out low-budget independent filmmakers to make practical special effects. We don't specialize in like computer special effects. We do the, physical head props and squibs and puppets and prosthetics and blood.
When I needed to make found into a movie, I knew there had to be some makeup effects, and the only makeup effects people I know are the Clockwerk Creature Company, and they're friends of mine, so there's no need to go anywhere else, quite frankly, and they're awesome, so why would I want to?
He found this book through ASI, through the company that he works for, self-publishing company. It's a book by Todd Rigney, and he read it and was fascinated by it. It was a lot different than the general fare that they put out, a lot of its inspirational type self-help books and stuff. So this had a skull and a box on the cover, and I'm sure he'll tell you all about it, but as soon as he read it, he loved it, wanted to make it into a movie, called us and said, hey, time to make heads.
So it was a different level of head for each one. Like we had movies within the movie where the heads were supposed to look a little bit more fake than the real heads to make basically the real heads look more real. We did high-level gelatin heads, we did low-level latex heads, which actually ended up better because it was a higher level of latex with gelatin on the inside. We did a lot of blood splatter, nice decapitation.
Everyone that's seen Found, and myself included, are very impressed with what the Clockwerk Creature Company did on Found. I think it was in some ways more subtle work than what they've done on other movies. There are some kills, there is some gore, but I think the biggest thing that people are taking away from Found is how realistic some of the severed heads look. And I think that's just attention to detail on their part, and the materials that they used, and the execution of those. And the sculpting work has gotten better with every movie too. So very pleased with what they did on Found, and I'm not the only one. I don't like digital effects. I'm in the party that doesn't really want to use them unless absolutely necessary. So having a practical effects group that can work on my movies, which are mostly horror movies, is absolutely critical, absolutely vital, because the horror genre can't go very far without practical effects artists.
I have nothing against computer animation in principle. It's still an art form. It's not, I don't think it's just pushing buttons. But something that I miss greatly about independent film in particular is that when I was growing up and a young horror fan and seeking out the goriest, most violent, vile, weird stuff that I could find, most of that was the independent stuff that you really had to search for, and it wasn't just on the internet. And when you saw this stuff, a lot of times you kind of wondered, well, how did they do that? And maybe did they really get somebody and chop their head off and make them bleed all over the place? So there was much more sort of this mystery, the potential that it could actually be a snuff film sort of thing, That's sort of a childhood mentality, but that mystery has been replaced with, instead of how did they do that, it's more like, oh, it was computers, And so that really becomes a problem because people write off the effects and they begin to not be able to distinguish between a good effect and a bad effect. There's something about having an actual creature there attacking you, or holding someone's head in your hands, or getting bloody from a squib exploding in your face, There's something very tactile about it that is appealing to human sensibilities. And I am much more likely to believe it in a film if I know that it's right there. Even if it's not the most perfect prop in the world, I'm going to buy the reality of it more because I know this person can actually touch it, more so than I am when they're reacting to some huge monster that's right here, but I can't see it.